Well, ladies and gentlemen, hello, good evening. Welcome to Monaco. My 5th time this week. Don't know about these drivers, but we're here for the Euro Series C1 PS4. And I am very, very excited, even with only 12 drivers. Last week's results in Spain, I weren't actually there. There's another person doing it, I believe. Thank you to them, of course. But the table at the moment, Midnight's leading 81, Plusenball 77. Plusenball's not here this evening though. Jardy's also not here as well. The good guy is here. We have Slash as well, Vizzy, Beretta, Wentink, Valentino, and Armchair Bike, Shane Gamewell, Chapelet, Luke, and Josh. And we have Slash being the first one that will be crossing the line. Constructors, Alfa Romeo is, let's have a cheeky look, 105, Williams 93, Racing Point 85, Toro Rosso 68. No penalty points for any drivers this week. And here we go, let's take you on a lap of Monaco. So here's Saint Devat, turn number 1 up the Bay Rivage, that's the name of the place on the left hand side. Through Massenet we go, that's that thing there on the right hand side. Turn number 4, Casino, the first ever casino that was built. Down to the tricky the corner before the hairpin. This is the Grand Hotel hairpin. You should probably tell there's a hotel, it's called the Grand Hotel. 2 right-handers, Portiers the second one, under a tunnel they go. And it's a 7th gear. Down to the Noble Chicane. Pretty difficult part of the circuit, of course. Don't want to clip the wall on the left hand side, don't want to overbrake when overtaking, go too far, don't want to clip the curb either. Seating track limits down to Tabac, turn number 12. 13 and 14, just past the pool area, down towards Rascas. You don't want to unsettle the car too much. You got one more corner to go as the Toro Rosso clips his left end plate, and that's turn number 18 and 19 through the start finish straight. There's a lap of Monaco, nice and easy. So the times that I've seen, the quickest time I've seen was a 108.2, which was with EVR. It's very, very quick. I've seen a 108.5, 108.4, so we'll see if that can be broken this evening. It is dry. I'm not sure about the race. I haven't been told otherwise just yet. And, let's get on board with someone who's going to go on a lap. Let's take the Racing Point of Luke. Okay, never mind. Maybe it was the good guy who put a lap in. So we got the first medium laps in, 10.2. Sure, that can be improved, of course, as the time goes on. 14 minutes of quality to go. We've only had 4 minutes. How time flies when you're having fun. Just log on to the YouTube chat, just in case I've missed any comments for you guys. Let's have a look. There we go. We are all good to go. Right, let's try and find someone on a lap. Beretta is on an out lap. Armchair Bike is coming in. This is also coming in too. Who's the closest out lap to the line, ladies and gentlemen? There's a hairpin there. Valentino's going through Casino. Beretta's going to the hairpin. So I don't really know, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to not be repetitive, of course. You can never get bored of Monaco, you know. I've done it 5 times in 1 week, and I'm still very excited. Albeit the number of drivers, I've always had 15, I think. But I'm starting to wonder why the drivers dislike Monaco. To be fair, I'm thinking from a driver's point of view, I can probably understand slightly, but from my view, You guys know my opinion. No question about that. Is Josh on a lap? Yes, he is. Okay, let's track him then. Out towards the Masune into the casino is looking okay. The sector time's just past this board. 18.3 he clocks in. Down to a hairpin he routes. That's the purple sector one of the session, apparently. We'll find out as he goes. Next right turn down to Portier. Not looking too bad, but good guy sets a provisional pole time on the mediums, a 1:09.915. Time to be found here. And for Noah Chicane for the Red Bull, let's see how much curb he's willing to cut. Very close to the wall on the left hand side. Does pretty well. Through to back, looking kind of quick. One step of the gear down to allow the car to ease through over the curb as much as he possibly can. Down to Raskas. Takes it a little bit wider. Short shifts up the gear to get that extra traction and loses the back end through the final corner. And that lap is over. For VRT Josh. Half the lobby's VRT. Crazy. Wenting is on his first fast lap. No time from him. I'm sure we'll find out in the next 45 seconds. Takes the hairpin on the most inside line you possibly can. Not touching the curve. Bit of a tap of the wall to the left hand side. Might have been a connection issue. Looking pretty good so far if he didn't touch the wall. Let's see how he tackles the chicane. Okay, a lot of drivers taking kind of the same line, just having that one wheel just over the curb and then easing the car around as much as he can. A purple second sector from Wentig. Whether that's true or not, we will find out. Down to Raskas he goes. Looked pretty clean, to be fair. Past the final corner. Wax on the DRS. It comes across the start finish straight, and his time is a 1:08.9 on the soft tyres. Pretty quick for a first soft tyre provisional pole time, but there's still lots of time to be found. Chapelet is on the soft, taps the right hand side of Tabac, might help him through the Piscine Pool section, locks up the front right tyre, cuts a bit of the curb just before Raskas, locks up the tyre again, and he comes into the pits after a pretty rough end to that spell. Slash is just coming down to Raskas now as he goes through. He's looking pretty slow on the time though, and he might break for 110s, but I'm sure he'll be looking for a quicker time than that. And I believe everyone else is in the pits apart from these four. Apologies, I just had to sneeze. Don't know why. It's not coronavirus, don't worry. And Viz is just preparing his Mercedes for his fast lap, and we can remain on board with the Merc driver, and we'll see what time he can do. He's got a bit of traffic in front of him though. Hopefully they can get out of the way when he gets to them, or if he gets to them, and we shall see. It's also quite interesting to see how much the drivers, how close to the walls some of them actually go. There was a video on YouTube by a pro F1 driver just comparing like some quick drivers but to the pros, and you can see the difference in times. It's just because how willing they are to get close to that wall to get the best track limits they possibly can. As Vizzy struggles very slowly through the Novo chicane. A lot of drivers struggle to find out how to do that, and he gets an invalidation, I think. Armchair Bike is in his Red Bull, having a little go to improve on his times. The slowest man on the track at the moment. That didn't look too bad through the Novo chicane. See how he tackles to back. One chop of the gear, he gets really close to the wall, and he goes purple second sector. Over the curb as much as he can. Down to Raskas, seems pretty alright. Through the last two corners, 1 and 2. And the Red Bull Armchair Bike with 8 minutes to go, crosses the line and goes P3 with a 1:09.991 for now. Oh, BB Rexter destroys his front wing going through to back, and he's going to have no traction for at least, the final sector. Valentino's trying a medium tyre time. Ooh, takes that line to the first part of the Noah chicane. Very, very on the inside, shall we say. Not many drivers do that. Has it helped him? No idea. I like the wheel movement. It seems that he's trying to do the minimalist movements, which is quite interesting to see. And we'll see when he crosses the line. He goes 109.8 and sets the quickest medium time. And he's 9 tenths away from a soft compound tyre time as it stands. Who's on a lap? Slash is on an out lap. The good guy in the racing points has gone into P3 as VRT Josh crosses the line, goes 9 tenths quicker, 109.292, 7 milliseconds behind Luke for the moment. We can remain on board with Slash, I think. When he crosses the line, we can remain on board with the Toro Rosso. He's a driver that I haven't seen before. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen him before. So I can't really tell what kind of pace to expect. But I'm sure in this lap, we can probably get a pretty good idea. 6 minutes to go of the qualifying session. And he's turned his DRS off, and I think that was an invalidation because he took way too much curb, and that was pretty clear on the recording. Chain Game Wow in his Renault starts his I think second flying lap on a new set of soft tyres, and we can see what the cars do. I'm pretty sure that under 110 on mediums. Yes, I've seen 108.2 though on the softs, so the mediums should potentially be able to do a 109 in some areas, as Valentino has demonstrated. Chain game, we're back to Chain Game Wow. I'm pretty sure all the drivers run really high wings. I was told that even some of the pros do 11.11 on the downforce. So it'll be interesting to see what these drivers do. Of course, we have no access to what they do, but interesting. We'll check. So check the Discord for some inside information. I'm pretty sure I've learned that if drivers don't put the weather in, you can presume it's dry as he comes through Raskas. That's pretty stable. Comes through the final corner, whacks on the DRS, and Chain Game Wow needs to improve on a 110 dead. He does, only by a tenth. Goes P6 for now. Time to be found on that lap. Midnight in his Williams seems to be on the lap down to the Noah chicane. Locks up the front left tyre. Might be a connection issue though. Goes through pretty nicely. Through to that one drop of a gear. Oh, and he taps both sides of the wall. Trying to go too quick. And he just can't put a lap in at the moment. Luckily, he's got time to go in and sort himself out. Armchair Bike in the Red Bull is on his next attempt of a flying lap. He's got a Merc in front of him who's on a out lap, so hopefully the Merc can get out of the Red Bull's way. Or if not, at least stay in front. Was there a little bit of hesitation from the Red Bull in the Grand Hotel hairpin there? It looked like there was a little bit of hesitancy, but Mercedes lets him pass, lets him crack on. He needs to take away 7 tenths of a second to go into P2 at the moment. 3.5 minutes of qualifying to go, and of course we all know how important qualifying is in Monaco. The higher you finish, the better chance you have of having to finish in that position. That is for sure. Comes through turns 18 and 19, clips the wall, clips the left wall, and that is Armchair Bike's lap over. Will he have time to go again? Does he have the fuel? I have literally no idea. Luke is on a fast lap. He's just under 700ths quicker at the moment, and that won't be enough to put in provisional pole, but we've no idea what he did first sector, and we've no idea what he can do last sector. One tap of a gear through to back, gets as close to that wall on the right hand side as possible. Does well through the mini chicane, through the next chicane, cuts quite a lot of curb, loses the back end a little bit, and that's going to cost him some dear time as the Alfa Romeo Brezza tries to get out of the way. The Racing Point comes into the pits anyway, and he gets a 5-place grid penalty for that. That's harsh. That's very harsh considering the car actually pitted anyway. But there we go. Hashtag Formula 1 for you. But Beretta hasn't put a time in yet anyway. But this is his time, and we can remain on board with it and see what he is doing. Any information in the Discord is a no. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no information. So I have no clue. And we presume that the weather is all nice and dry. I'm also a big football fan. Not a Chelsea fan, but I'm just checking the score very quickly. The Germans are always late, so I'd rather see them get beat. Back to Monaco, where Bretz's lap still seems to be going okay. Commentators curse, taps the wall on the right hand side of the back. We've seen it constantly. The drivers trying to push the cars as much as they can. That wall actually helped. And he's all over the place at Raskas, damages the left end plate. He's going to try and do one more lap, but I don't think with a left end plate he's going to be able to do much more. Slash has just begun his fast lap, and there's 1 minute of qualifying to go. This is the last chance for the drivers to put in their quickest times here in the streets of Monaco. I don't think are there any races on race Spec happening right now? I don't think there is, actually. So I thought there was a PC Euro series. No? I'm pretty sure there was, but that is not being live streamed at the moment. We have the American series at 2 AM in the morning, UK time, which happens in about 6 hours, 5.5 hours, which you can watch in your own time if you're awake at that time. Vizzy retires with his time, Beretta retires with his time, Slash comes through the final corner, looks to actually put a lap in this time. 10.2 is his own time, goes 10.191, only improves by 200s. Back to the front, the first car that's going to cross, I think, is going to be Midnight. He's actually put a lap in, fires a lap in, which is a 1:08.9, takes provisional pole, and he's struggled throughout most of the session. The Renault is next, who's retired. There's a lot of cars that's going through the tunnel at the moment as the good guy gets out of people's way. He won't be improving his time. We've got the rev glitch with the Haas, but it's still probably worth having a cheeky look while his second sector time is through to back. And he's down by 700s, which isn't looking fantastic for the Wentic driver who goes off at the pit game pool. Luke carries on. He's the only driver left that can possibly take the pole off Midnight. He goes second sector purple. He's got a 1:08.920 to beat to take the pole position, which could be absolutely crucial, and he doesn't by 27 milliseconds. So Midnight takes the pole position, Luke in P2, Wentic in P3, and that is your qualifying over in Monaco. Midnight having the first dibs if he gets a good start to turn number 1 inside the bar. Looks look pretty good there. Maybe one more correct thing or a quicker thing would have got him on the pole position, but congratulations to Midnight. The quickest time there, 1:08.9, which, don't get me wrong, is quick, but I've seen 1:08.2, so the driver's not to their full potential at this moment. But I'm sure Midnight, Luke, Ventink won't matter. There are the standings for you. Chapelele not even setting a time, but I'm pretty sure there's no penalty points. The top 4 separated by 600. So I talk about Luke, but Wenting or the good guy could have had it as well. One more good corner for any of those, and they could have taken the top spot in quali. Josh Valentino 5th, 6th, Shane Gainwell 7th, Hunterback 8th, Fizzy 9th / 10th, completing the top 10. Bretzer gets a 5-place grid penalty. Not that he did much wrong, but he wouldn't have got much. He wouldn't have got 6 anyway, I don't think, because he retired at the end. So he would have been starting exactly where he is, regardless. And we'll just wait for the drivers to ready up, and we'll get going into the formation lap of what looks to be a dry Monaco, which is good to see. Very good to see. Welcome to you all, by the way, the people who are here and wanting to watch some Monaco action. Thank you for tuning in. There's not much else you can watch, to be honest, unless you're a Chelsea or Bayern football fan. You might as well be here. And we will wait to see what happens as the formation lap. The one light is shown and they get away. Look at the tyres on your left hand side. The top 10 and 12 have chosen the soft compound. Chapelele being the only other driver to have not done the soft compound. Interesting. I'm sure the drivers at heart love a bit of Monaco. I do. I mean, I've got no pressure. Sat here commentating. We have fun. We commentate what happens. Safety cars or not, collisions or not, we have fun. We feel no pressure, ladies and gentlemen. And for Wartime with a laser session, and unfortunately, he was a little bit late, and it's too late to begin today's race. Of course, we have 39 laps this evening, 78 at 100%. Of course, 50% is half of that. It's just about 80 miles, 70 to 80 miles of racing for the drivers to tuck themselves into this evening. We're expecting it to be about 45 minutes. That doesn't include safety cars, of course. And we will see what happens. And I've said this in other races. Anything can happen, and to expect the unexpected, as the cars don't take long to line up. And it is time for this season's European Series Monaco Grand Prix. The lights are now on the streets of Monaco, where it's lights out and away we go. The Williams gets away well, but so does the Racing Point of Luke, and he takes first position after a fantastic start. Up the Bay Rivage, Luke goes first, led by Midnight, the good guy. P3 Ventic for Massa, there we go, no early collisions, which is good to see. Free Casino for the first time out of 39 times, and for Racing Points, a good start by them. Both of them at one position. Midnight Ventic down one position each. Josh has an up arrow, but they all seem to be in a pretty steady shape. Good to see all the drivers racing nice and clean through one of the trickiest circuits on the calendar, and a pretty good start by the Racing Point, so fair play to them, and we'll see how long they can keep this up. Of course, we know how difficult it is to overtake. No early dramas though, which is good to see. Maybe not on our side, ladies and gentlemen, but from a driver's point of view, not too bad. Vizzy, P7, he's up 2 positions. I'll sort that out for you now. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. And we're not having any interval times at the moment. Whether that's a glitch or not, I have no idea. But we'll just have to go off the track map for the moment. And that's pretty much all we've got. The interval times are starting to fly in. The Williams of Midnight tapping the wall after turn number 1, but he's still... Has he got his left end plate? He doesn't, and we did see it, and we've noticed it. The good guy might have also seen the contact, and the reason why the drivers go a little bit wide on that little bit there, I didn't actually understand why. It's because there's a massive bump in the road, which I didn't know. But you see it in real life as well. There is Slash right at the back who's pitted on a set of medium compound. So Slash, I'm guessing, had a little bit of damage. We now have the leader times. That's 19 seconds plus 5.8. Yeah, so Slash obviously having a little bit of damage. Down to another chicane, the pack comes. All the drivers quite tightly packed together. The gap from first to 11th only 7.5 seconds. And we're on lap 2, of course, of 39. And Bretzer gets a 3-second time pen for multiple warnings. Whether that's at season track limits or corner cutting, I don't actually know, as Luke sets a 12.9 on the softs. That's going to increase and increase the further this race goes on. Chapelele actually sets a quicker time on the medium compound, probably because he's got clear track. And Bretzer has come into the pits, probably done his penalty. He's going to change his wing, go on the hard tyres for another 37 laps, including this one. Slash and Bretzer at the back a little bit at the moment. Just coming through the hairpin. Most of the drivers looking pretty clean at the moment. No, there's actually been no proper yellow flags, I don't think. I think those caused by another driver, which is cool. And if you race clean, you have a bit more fun. Maybe not on this circuit, but other ones as well. Vizzy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, same as Bretzer. And I'll try not to remain at the front too much, but you never know. One bad move, you Midnight's end plate, and you can see what's happening here is, Midnight comes into the pits and he deems that end plate to be too much of a problem. And I was just about to say, Luke had a bit of a gap to Midnight, but the cars behind Midnight, Good Guy, Ventic, Josh Valentino, etc., they're all closing in on that Williams. They could sense, but he had a bit of an issue. But Good Guy and Luke are both Racing Point teammates, of course. Is Good Guy trying to race his teammate, or keep Venting behind and give Luke a bigger gap? You know, of course, with 12 drivers, there's a lot less, you know, major things that are going to happen. There's probably a decent chance that we might not have a safety car now, unless a driver makes a terrible mistake. Chances are we probably won't see nothing from this point. And we'll see what can happen. It looks like on your screens that the fans were doing a Mexican wave back, but I think it's just the game. Valentino, chain game 1 with 3-second time penalties. Seen a lot of 3-second time penalties at the moment. Luke has probably got a bit of a gap to even be able to just slow down his pace a little bit, save some fuel, save some battery. There is a yellow flag in sector 2, and that's Bretzer facing the wrong way round out of the Noble chicane. He's just recovered that turn, heading down to the back now, and we'll just have a look at a dynamic view of that damage. If he does have any, taps one on the left hand side as well, and I think that's a left end plate damage. Oh, maybe not. Nope, he's all fine. So just a little spin outside the Nova chicane. Probably tapped the wall with his rear tyre. It's probably a more likely outcome. As a Mercedes of, it was Chapelele, I think, who's tapped the wall. And he has, quite sure if he's got any damage. He does. He has a left end plate damage. And he's going to have to pit and put the hards on, because he started on the mediums, of course. Interesting observation. Slash gets a 3-second time pen for cutting the Novo chicane curve. Pretty deserved from that clip. Venting in the Haas is pushing as close as he can to the rear gearbox of a Good Guy. Josh has got a 3-second time penalty, and Chapelele has retired from the session in the pits. And probably the best thing to do at this time. And what that means is we've gone from 12 drivers to 11. If we lose one more, everyone who finishes will be getting at least a point. tonight even. I'm trying incessantly hard not to speak whilst having a cheeky tiring yawn. It's been a very long day for Mr. Louis, but Monaco, I'm sure, has woken me up a little bit. And are we going to see at some point in this race an overtake by the Haas driver? Because it's so hard to do on Monaco. I mean, look, he has DRS here, uses a battery, and still can't even get that much closer to the good guy. Because if you think about the physics of it, if a car takes, I don't know, 4 seconds to get to 140, and the Haas takes even 3.5 to get to 140, by the time the racing points reach that distance there, he's probably at a point where he's only 200 meters away from the breaking point of Sandoval. So it's impossible to catch. And at some point, that Haas, if anything, does want to not only get a podium, but get a P2, he's going to have to do an undercut. And for it to work, or he's going to have to make a move somewhere. But no chicane, Rascas like Leclerc did, well, tried to, second time. We'll keep an eye on it because it's the lowest interval gap. Armchair Bike and Vizzy getting another set of 3-second penalties, and they have to have multiple warnings for those. So they've done at least 6 corner cuts or exceeding track limits, or even 4, depending on the situation. As the Haas tries to get as close as he can, Brexter comes out of the pits again. I think that's the second stop. Which is, you know, something's gone a little bit wrong when there's 2 stops in Monaco. As Chain Gamewell enters the pits in his Renault and comes out on the hard compound tyres. He could probably finish it on mediums, to be fair, but oh no, maybe he couldn't. I will cancel that forward. A bit of a gap now from good guy to Wentic, losing a little bit of traction after Portier. And we'll keep an eye on it for now. There's a small gap from Valentino to Slash, just going through the hairpin now. And Slash has used 6 laps of those mediums, so they'll still be pretty fresh. Busy gets another 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. When will the man learn? Or woman? Pretty sure it's a man. And Slash looks to take quite a lot of curve through the noble end. And Valentino might have benefited from a little bit, might have just lowered that gap just a tad. And Slash gets a 3-second pen, and that was absolutely clear. Now Valentino wouldn't have actually known that, but he got a pen. But must have had a cheeky thought as Slash is losing that back end of the Toro Rosso lows, and Chain Gamewell, wherever he is on the circuit, he's in just past the Piscine pool, and he has had a bit of an accident and caused a safety car here in Monaco. And that is, we were discussing that 12 drivers, or even 11 at the time of the safety car, wouldn't cause one, and it has caused one. And he's had, we didn't catch it, but he's had a bit of a mare out of the Piscine pool chicane section, and his car is, I'm guessing, a total write-off on this bit here. So that is interesting, and I'm sure action from the front gangs. And as this helped Valentino, depending on how far back they are, these drivers are going to put on the mediums, I'm sure. The safety car will do 2 more laps. The safety car's waiting for them up the Bay Rivage. And we had 12, we are down to 10 on lap number 10 as the car crosses. BB Rexto should be allowed to overtake the safety car and catch the pack up. I'm pretty sure he's allowed to overtake the safety car, which is taps the wall, nearly taps the safety car as well. So he's allowed to catch up the rest of the pack, which is not a bad thing. And Luke, Good Guy and Josh are your top 3 now. Midnight's in 4th with the hard tyres. Wentink is now 5th. Did he get slowed down somewhere? I'm just trying to think. Valentino's now P6 on his hards. Armchair Bikes P7 on his hards. Busy's P8 on his mediums. No idea how many penalties he would have been able to do. Probably not too many. PMP Slash will be the first, well, the second to last car to catch up the pack. And of course the safety car will be out for a little bit yet before we get going on. Monaco isn't my track, says Mohammed. Well, it is my favourite track from a commentator's point of view. Never too far away from action. Maybe not with 12 drivers, but then again, I don't get to choose how many turn up. As a PMP Slash, you can see the rest of the pack just heading past Tabak. And he's going to catch up. The safety car is going to do one more lap as a minimum criteria. And 2 racing points, P1 and 2 at the moment. It's looking very, very good for them. And for on fresh mediums and there, of course, like I've just said. First and second. Brettster is about 39 seconds away from the pack at the moment. And he'll be catching up hopefully as much as he possibly can to catch that pack before the safety car comes in. But he's got a bit of work to do in terms of catching that safety car up. Probably should be saving his battery as well, but it's all good. I don't think he'll actually catch them. He can certainly try. He'll get close, but he can certainly try. As we'll get a couple of dynamic shots around the streets of Monte Carlo. And he actually is going to catch them all, which is fair enough. Not a bad thing for BBS. I mean, listen, the guy stopped twice and he's caught up with the pack. Let's have a quick look at the position changes before the safety car comes in. So, Luke's at 1, Good Guy's up 2, Josh up 2, Midnight down 3, Ventic down 2, Valentino stayed exactly the same. Armchair Bike up 1, Busy up 1, Slash up 1, and Brett's up 2. And the 2 cars for the DNF, Chapelele in the pits had a bit of a rough time. Chain Game While had DNF by an incident at the Piscine pool, of which we unfortunately didn't catch. But maybe he would have provided us with a clip somewhere to see after this race. So technically now, no, oh dear, a couple of collisions into Raskas, a bit of a mess. I don't know who got the penalties. But Luke gets us back underway with the Monaco Grand Prix, resetting it for the second time into Saint-Devote. He leaves his teammate Good Guy behind. Josh, P3 and the rest hasn't changed for now. To Massenet and Casino they go again. 12th time out of 39, 27 more times they've got to do it. And at least we could say we had a safety car, and there is a car in the pits, and that is Slash already, so he clearly had an incident. We have 10 cars left. As long as all the cars finish, people will be getting a point or points today. But of course, if they DNF from this point, they will get naught. That's the Nova Chicane, and don't forget all these drivers are on fresh tyres, pretty much fresh tyres. Midnight's used his for 8 laps, 2 of them have been safety car. Busy gets a cheeky overtake on the Red Bull down out of a Nova Chicane. That looked pretty cool, didn't quite catch it in time, but a good move by the Mercedes. But I'm pretty sure he's got quite a few penalties, so Busy's got some decent levels of work to do. So new fastest lap is set by Luke at a 12.2. Crazy to think that's 4 seconds, sorry, 3.5 seconds slower than the quali pace. But we know the cars are heavy, and we will see what happens. From this point on, I don't think any of the drivers will want to pit or need to, but we'll see. We know that the hard tyres will go, especially 2 of those laps have been on safety car duties. But commentator's curse, I don't think we will have another safety car after this point. But you never know, you might have a chain game wow moment in his Renault and have a little bit of an accident through the Piscine area. But we've got a long way to go yet. So of course this season, in terms of Euro, is done in calendar order, featuring all 21 races till the end of May, January, February, March, April, May, June, actually, apologies, to the end of June. And we're obviously on Monaco, which is round 6. We've had Australia, Bahrain, China, Azerbaijan, Spain and Monaco, as you all know. We had a break last week. Spec give their drivers like a promotion window kind of thing, which is interesting. Next we have of course Canada, France, Austria, Britain, of which they're not bad tracks. So for the next month of action, those are the tracks that we have. I'm sure you all know, the people watching, the official F1 calendar. Off by heart? Do you all know it off by heart? That's an interesting question. It's a very small gap from Venting to Midnight, and he knows that Midnight's on the hard tyres. He also knows that Midnight doesn't have ABS on, which means Midnight has to be more careful with his braking. You know, the assists are free. They can use whatever assist they want, apart from the pit ones, I'm pretty sure. So we have to have pit assist and pit release off. The Haas might make a move into turn 1. He goes on the inside, trying not to take too much curb, and he does take too much curb and gets a 3-second time penalty for the Haas's efforts. So the Haas driver is going to have to get past for Williams without letting the Alfa Romeo Valentino come into the question. Also, he's going to gain 3 seconds. It didn't look too much of a corner cut, to be fair, but I think the game thought that he was going to get past for Williams and wanted to punish him. A little bit harsh, but Venting has got to get his head down and continue on with this race. As the 2 racing points in the Red Bull are getting nice and cosy at the front of this race. Are they your P3 contenders? Absolutely at the moment. Midnight's on the hard, a long set of hards. Josh is on a fresh set of mediums, as are these 2 in front. So really, look at these 3 cars and say, well, yeah, I mean, something's gone wrong. Really, Josh started 5th as well. So he's done pretty well on the safety car pit stop, and to be able to park himself into P3, it was a good job that he got ahead of the Williams at Midnight, because he would have had a hard job overtaking him. And because he did get past for Williams, he's now 3.7 seconds ahead, and only 3/4 of a second behind the racing point in front of him, who respectively is also 3/4 of a second behind his own teammate. So we'll have to keep a very good eye on this pack at the moment, and they deserve a little bit of screen time. That was a fantastic shot of seeing how the different lines are taken through the Nova chicane, as Valentino picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. You can see the pool and the bay. Look at that, that's a nice shot. And I'm sure F1 2020, this comes out in probably June, July, August time, they will also have added more and more graphics to all the Grand Prix, as Luke sets a new fastest lap, 11.947. The times are getting quicker as the cars lose their weights from the fuel, of course. And Venting, 2 cars going up together, and it wasn't them that actually caused for safety car. It was Slash that has caused for safety car, And I believe that's a Monaco chicane. And I believe, and the problem we've got, ladies and gentlemen, is that we can't get to the Monaco chicane quick enough to see what has happened. Because there you go, by the time we get anywhere near it, it'll disappear. And it looks like he didn't get past the first wall. So, he had a bit of an accident. And 2 accidents, and they've both caused a safety car, which is interesting. So we have the second safety car of the race. We had 12 drivers. We're now down to 9, and anyone who finishes will be getting at least 2 points. Clipped the wall is an inside source, and that is believed to be true if we take into account where his car marker was. And Josh decides to pit, and he decides to pit. I don't know. I mean, could he have kept track position? Yeah, but he did have end plate damage, and he had penalties. So that slows his teammate down a little bit, who's going to put medium tyres on, do his time penalty, and they're also going to change his wings. So Red Bull putting the front wings on their cost sheets for this evening's race, as Luke catches up the safety car. So we have 2 more laps of the safety car, of course, this lap and next lap, until we get this race back on again. I'm PMP Slash, by the way. Thank you for the information. I mean, I guess it's an inside source. If you're the man himself, which is fair enough. We've got a ghosting Mercedes, which is different. And it's funny because Venting is now in the situation he was 10 laps ago. 2 racing points and him. And now Josh has got a real problem, because he was looking good for a P3 until he clipped his end plate. Now he has to work extra hard. Very quickly, one of the cars on the safety car, I'm just going to grab a quick drink. I will be back in hopefully 30 seconds. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I am not as parched anymore. I have helped my esophagus with some liquid, as I haven't actually drunk anything since we started speaking. Just in time, as the car comes come round to back, the safety car will more than likely come in. There you go. And it's done at its minimum criteria, and when the racing point of Luke crosses the line, we will be on to lap number 20. And we have 20 more laps to go, including that one. As Luke slows the pack as quickly as he possibly can, right hand turn through the final corner of turn 18 and 19, and Luke begins the race And there's already a little bit of contact out of the final corner. Josh is going really, really slow, lets his teammate overtake, and Valentino. And what happened to Josh? I'm not too sure. Valentino looks to have lost his back end a little bit coming out of there. The Red Bull might make a move through Massenet. He doesn't. Gets a little bit brake checked off Valentino and loses the back end. I don't know what damage that causes both of them, ladies and gentlemen, as the Armchair gets past Valentino. Just to confirm that, as we go down to the happy. So Valentino has got his front wing, but Red Bull has as well. And Vizzy's going to P9. Now, I'm not sure, ladies and gentlemen, someone may know, but that car is ghosting. Yeah? So does that mean the driver's not in the car? Or am I being ridiculous? I don't know. Anyway, back to the front. Free to back they go for the 20th time. 4 of them, a quarter of them, have been on safety car duties, and there's already, look at that gap, there's already, I don't know why that was so high pitched, there's already a 3.5 second gap from Venting to Brexter, and Brexter, out of nowhere, is now into P4, looking like he literally ruined his own race. The Red Bull and the Alpha, well, both Red Bulls actually, sorry, were wheel to wheel, going down to Saint Devat, and Armchair Bike lets his teammate through as Vizzy comes into the pits. Now I'm pretty sure the AI doesn't do that, so maybe he is actually in his car. But yeah, the gap 4.5. VRT, Josh and Brexter. Oh, Brexter has gone right into the barrier at turn number 5. It looked to be a little bit on purpose, if I'm honest, and that is a virtual safety car. It looked to be a little bit on purpose. I just don't know why you'd still be going full power, to be honest, but that's for other people to check and not me, because I don't know what actually happened. But can a couple of people use that delta time to the finest of margins and get somehow a little bit of a cheeky escape from the virtual safety car to help themselves overtake the next car? Venting could be looking to use that delta to try and overtake the racing point at some point. Testing the revs of the Haas driver, and that virtual safety car is still on at the moment. We'll wait for the green flags to come back out, and there you go. So the racing is back on. DRS is also back on immediately, and Ventic is 3/4 of a second behind the racing point, and that racing point is 1.3 behind his teammate in the racing point. And we'll keep an eye on this battle because Ventic is pretty racy. He just can't find an overtaking spot. Valentino has just come out of the pits, and Vizzy has gone into the pits for like his 4th time, or 3rd time. Oh, I think it's a drive-through pen actually, as we see Luke getting on through the Nova chicane pretty nicely. The gap reducing to the front ever so slightly, and we'll just keep an eye on it as the race goes through. Valentino through the hairpin, Armchair Bike free to back. Josh is coming through the Piscine pull at the moment. Midnight through Raticar, so actually got a purple second sector with his new tyres. The fastest, he might actually set the fastest lap here. The fastest lap at the moment, 1:11.947. Excuse me. He's actually 8 tenths slower. Luke Staff maybe set a pretty good lap there. But I don't know. 9 seconds from 1st to 6th position. Lap 23 of 39. Got 17 including this one to go. And Mohammed has retracted all his messages. Never mind. Started with 12. You would have thought we wouldn't have lost 33% of the grid, but we have. We're down to 8. I'm just going to check the Discord for any inside information. Oh, we do have some inside information. What have we got? Oh, I hate this. So Slash has said, I hate this track. Can't wait for Canada. So that was interesting. There's also something going on Race Spec's Mixer accounts, which is interesting. I'd never actually watched anything on Mixer. Josh sets the fastest lap time of 11.1 minute 11.5 to the millisecond, and that is the time to beat for the moment. So his task gets increasingly closer to the good guy. Now the good guy can do two things here. He can protect and protect and protect his P2 and let his teammate drive off into the sunset, literally the harbour, and win this race. Or he might want to win this race himself. Who knows what's going on in the racing points? I mean, if the good guy has an opportunity to win Monaco, I'm sure he would like to take it. I'd be a bit shocked if that wasn't the case. As I don't know what happened there. I was just having a look at some inside information. Midnight has just gone in third. What? Now, what I'm thinking there is Ventic's probably... No, he's probably done the right thing there. Now, this was an argument that many other people were having. And the argument was that people that really didn't have a chance were not letting the people that did have a chance through. Midnight has a huge chance. He's got brand new tyres and he's got 2 racing points for the 8 lap old tyres. Midnight has actually got a genuine chance to win this. Ooh, as he gets very close to the left hand side of the wall there. But he's got a huge chance, and you can see how much he's catching. And the 2 racing points will know this. And they'll know that he has a chance. Now, Midnight didn't win in Spain. He might make a move down to Raskas like Leclerc, but he doesn't decide to do so. As Ventec gets a 3-second time penalty. And this spices things up a little bit, because Midnight does have the pace to catch his racing points. Will he have the pace into Saint-Devot? I don't think he will, but he might make a move. He decides not to. Maybe just a test the defences of the good guy in the racing point. But we know that Midnight is he goes to the left hand side and Massenet tries to take the inside line. The racing point lets him have it. Wheel to wheel action down through the casino, down to the first of the 2 mini hairpins. As Williams goes on the outside, cuts off the racing point to the to the right hand side, and he now goes into P2. The good guy could not protect himself, and of course both the drivers don't want to, you know, damage their own races. Midnight is 2.5 seconds behind the leader, and the race is on between him and Luke at the moment. Good guy is happy to take a third place slot to Midnight. He was always going to be quicker at some point with those tyres, quicker in qualifying as well. Problem is now for good guy, he's got 2 drivers behind him. One's on the same tyres, the other one's on really fresh ones like Josh, and Josh is driving pretty quick at the moment. He's got the fastest lap, so we'll see what happens. And Luke's going to have to step on it a little bit here, but he's still just driving conservative, saving his battery, probably saving his fuel. And this will be an interesting end, because Luke cannot sit there and drive at a respective pace. He knows Midnight will be coming for him, and he knows he's pretty close behind as well. So we got an interesting end for these last 13 laps, and one mistake from these drivers, or even both, could lead to a safety car. But forget that for a moment. Could lead to something else happening. Josh is so close to Venting, respectively as Venting is so close to good guy. And can that racing point hold on for that P3? Can Josh get past these 2 cars? He's got 8 lap newer, well, fresher medium compound tyres as he taps the wall on the right hand side very slowly. But we'll see what these guys could do. And Midnight has cut that gap from 2.5 to 1.8 in 1 lap. So will we see an overtake in the next few laps? who knows, Luke has got some battery and pace to go, but his tyres have been used a little bit. Albeit 4 of them have been on the safety car, to be fair, so we've done 14 laps. So we're probably not as bad as we're making them out to be. The pack of 3 here, just heading through Casino for the 28th time in this race. And who is going to make that first ballsy move to try and get that extra position? And we will see if anything is to change. Midnight's cut the gap to 1.6 seconds now, so that gap is decreasing very, very slightly. But the problem for Midnight is he's got to close that gap to within half a second. Then he's got to close that gap even more and try to somehow overtake on this impossible to overtake circuit. And we will see what Midnight can do. But before, excuse me, before that happens, we have this pack of 3 here, which is very interesting. But will anyone be daring to make the move as Josh gets very close to the gearbox of venting, using the car's driving line as a way to kind of understand, oh, could he have made a dive into that corner there? You never know. You ask yourself the question as a commentator, could he have just dived in there? But that's not, it's not about diving in, it's also about making a sensible choice for you and them. So Red Bull loses his back end out of Porsche a little bit, and that slows him down. We're going to leave this pack of 3 for a minute as Midnight has his racing point in sight. 2 laps ago, the gap was 2.5 seconds. It's now less than a second. And we shall see. The fastest lap is still going to Josh, 11.5. As you can see, Midnight is cutting that gap very, very quickly. Now it's gone from a second to 3/4 of a second, and very, very soon, and Venting comes into the pits for a pair of softs. Could we see a new fastest lap? Probably. The Red Bull is going to come past the pit lane now with a 3-second time penalty. Don't really matter. And Venting comes out of the pits now. A good go ahead of a Mercedes, so Venting can go for a P6 and a fastest lap. But we'll check these 2 drivers out, as the gap is now about half a second, sorry. And Midnight is hunting for that race win. Can Luke defend for 9 laps after he crosses the line? There's still probably another 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes of racing to go. Can he keep a Williams behind, who's got incredible pace if he don't make a mistake, and got better tyres for 9 laps? You ask that question to yourself and you think, no way. But we will watch it uncover for these last 9 laps as, oh, what happened there? Josh has gone into the Saint Devar wall, and Valentino has retired from the session in the same area for Renault Chain Game Wild did too. And has that bought Luke some time? Because Luke can do 2 more laps on the safety car, and then he might just be able to get away from it quite well. How in the world, with 12 drivers, have we had 3 safety cars? We didn't even have 12 drivers at the time of the first one. We had 11. At the second one we had 9. And this one we've had 7. Oh wait, how? But 2 cars in the Piscine Pool Chain Game Wild, now Valentino, have had accidents, and that has caused a safety car. Probably rightly so, because it probably blocks the track. But has that bought Luke the time he needs to just save these tyres little by little and get away from Midnight when the safety car comes in 2 laps time? This safety car will be out for 32 and 33. So we'll be on that 34 by the time everything changes. The good guy decides to come into a pit. So does Josh. Armchair Bike does as well. Will he be held up by his Red Bull team? Yeah, it's looking likely. There you go. He is going to be held up. And we have 7 drivers left. And Vizzy has some time to catch up the pack. Actually, won't even catch up the pack because he's been lapped. As for Red Bull's just fitting his wing on. How many wings have Red Bull changed this race? Literally 8. Maybe not 8. I'll just have a confirmation of the stops for you. 1 for Luke, 222 Midnight Venting Good Guy, and 3-3 for both Red Bulls. 6 stops between the Red Bull drivers, and they're all on soft, so we should expect a quicker fastest lap. 1:11.5 is the lap so far, and the cars will be pretty light. I know they're saving fuel, but they'll still be pretty light, and Vizzy might be able to overtake the cars. If not, he has still been lapped. How, with 12 drivers, have we had 3 safety cars? I have no idea. But we have, and that is what makes Monaco what it is, which is good to see. So Vizzy cannot. What is going on there? Maybe Vizzy can overtake the park. I'm not too sure. We'll just go back to the front. With a safety car leaves the pack up for 1 more lap, and then it will come in. As Armchair Bike is just taking his time to gently stroll his car through the streets of Monte Carlo to catch up the rest of the pack. What a weird race, but wouldn't have it any other way. Would not have it any other way. This is what racing is about. Be interesting to see what happens here, because Venting is now back in a position where he has brand new soft tyres. Brand new. Well, maybe not brand new, but they'll be newish. And he has a wing. He's not, but he's been in this position before. He's been in this position with the same tyres as the cars in front. But now, he's got brand new tyres. Problem for him also is that he's got drivers behind him who are now right next to him who have also got brand new tyres. So what is going to happen here, I have no clue. But Midnight will want to catch Luke, and Venting will want to catch Midnight, and all them drivers behind will want to catch. This is going to be a scrap till the final bit of this race, as Armchair Bike, no idea what that arrow was for, but anyway, there are 6 laps remaining, including this one, and what in the world is going to happen from here? We will let the drivers tell us, and we will find out, because I think we're in for a pretty cool ending here, given the tyre situation and the 3 safety cars that we've had, which we did not expect, but we got. Anyway, Freeport here for the 34th time, 5 more times after this, as Josh keeps getting a plus arrow on his teammate. Midnight gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting the noble chicane, and that's not going to help him at all. And he might let Venting through for that. Not that Venting will know, but he probably realise that that has happened. And if Venting does get through, he can then mount an attack on Luke for the last 6 laps. The problem is, apart from Midnight's 3-second time penalty, have they all done it in the pits? I don't know, and I have no way of checking. As for Williams, and Midnight gets very close to that wall of Saint Devar again. And yeah, race is on. Look at this pack. Luke is on 25 lap warm mediums. Midnight is on 17 lap warm mediums. The cars behind are all on brand new softs. So what can we see in these last 5 laps here in Monaco? It only happens once in the Euro Series. Yes, of course, we have the Global Series and the Elite Series that other drivers take part in. I'm sure they all do other leagues as well. But in terms of this one, it's the only time we're going to have Monaco. So make the most of it as you can, really, is my advice. Strangely, Midnight's catching up to Luke, but he's not going to go 3 seconds ahead if that happens. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here, to be honest. And we can only find out as Midnight locks up his front right tyre, as he has done probably 75% of the times he's gone into Rascas. One of the only drivers, to be fair, to have the ABS off. DRS is now back on, not that it makes a huge difference, as Josh retakes his own fastest lap. He had 11.5, it's now 11.335. We have 4 laps to go. Will these positions change? They should, in reality, with the tyres that these drivers have got. Can they make that last ditch push into a section? I don't think you could do 3 stop in the pits. Oh, 3 seconds in the pits. It gets added in the race time at the end. No, absolutely. It was a question, but I wondered. But no, I don't think they can do. I think they can only do 5 seconds, which would make sense, to be fair. And for those of you tuning in, thank you. You've tuned in at a good time. Let me brief you. 3 safety cars have put the cars into a position where they are now. We'll have a quick look at position changes before anything change. If I can remember how to do it. So Luke started second, had a fantastic start on the start line. Now first, Midnight's down 1. Wenting, good guy, Josh have all changed this race. There's some that have been at the front, second. There's some that have been at the back, 8th. Now they're back to where they were in quali. The Red Bulls have had an interesting race. 6 stops between them. And what's going to happen here is Midnight has shown that he's got pace more than Luke. Because he's got fresher tyres, but also the cars behind have a lot more pace. So, will we see any daring overtakes? I have no idea, but we'll find out. We have 3 laps to go, and I've also no idea what the penalties are like, ladies and gentlemen, to be honest. I have no idea. Everyone has got loads of penalties, and most of those penalties have been 3-second ones, of which I'm pretty sure you can't do them in the pits. So we have no idea what is going to happen. We have no idea who's actually winning this race. So we'll find out. And every overtake could be pretty big, as Midnight has a cheeky look into to back, but finds it safer not to do so. 2 cars have gone off in this section right here. You saw the Haas go through. Chain game well in his Renault and Valentino in his Alpha. Both Alphas DNF'ing as well. Interesting. Valentino was there as well. But was going into the turn before the Grand Hotel hairpin as fast as he can. How did Venting lose that much time to second place? I'm starting to wonder, because that cost good guy time as well. It might make a move to the inside of Massine, but he doesn't decide to do so. Goes to a very, very close. 2 laps to go. Going to come through the hairpin now for the 38th time out of 39. And we will see. I don't know why I was raising my voice at the number 39, to be honest. And we'll see if anything happens to the end of this race. Has the penalties played an impact on the list? I don't think anyone's going to overtake anyone. So just have a really, really quick look. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And that was only lap 8. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. And those penalties have been with literally less than 12 drivers. Crazy. As Luke is looking pretty okay. Oh, a little bit of contact from a racing point on the Haas. going through Rascas. That rhyming is so good. And Luke leads us on to lap 49, and Midnight takes the inside line to turn number 1. Doesn't want to cut too much curb, as Wenton did, because he got a penalty, but Williams didn't. But Midnight has got a 3-second pen. Luke might not know this, but he might also know this. So he might have let the Williams pass anyway. But has Luke got a penalty? That's the problem as a commentator, because it could have been a crucial oversight. But in the back of my mind, I'm being told that Midnight had a 3-second penalty at a minimum, more than Luke. So we'll see. 11 of you in to check out what's going to happen at the end of this race. Now, normally at the end of a race, I tend to go, and he wins. But this time, I don't actually know. So I'm not going to shout anything. Oh, it's a yellow flag in sector 2, and that is Armchair Bike having a little incident in the Novo chicane, not even losing his wing. But we'll go back to Midnight. He's just rooting through Rascas, and we will find out now who's going to win this Monaco Grand Prix, as there are penalties everywhere. Let's find out. Luke goes first. And there you go. There's your confirmation. I just wanted to wait to... Okay, the car's finished that quick. There you go. I didn't know who was going to win. But Luke has won. That is confirmed. We'll just double check. We don't need to see the podium. We don't need to see it. And right. So here are your final standings. That's the first time in commentary I have never done a shout out at the end. But here we go. So Luke, second on the grid, wins the Grand Prix. 52 minutes. The good guy, fourth on the grid, comes second. Midnight, first quali. Second after the first turn, ends third. Ventic, third to fourth. Josh, stay exactly the same. And for rest, you can see for yourselves. Armchair Bike, 8 to 6. We started with 12. We ended with 7. And Luke and the good guy. Oh, wow, I didn't even notice. The good guy's gone into second place because he didn't have any penalties either. So the Racing Points get a 1-2 in Monaco, which is really going to help them in the Constructors. I'm just trying to think about the Constructors. And the Racing Points, by the way, were 20 points behind the Alphas. The Alphas didn't get any points, so they got 43 points. The fastest lap was Josh. So that cancels that out. Williams Midnight gets 15, so that goes on to theirs, which is 108. So Racing Point needed 23 to go first, and they got 43. So Racing Point are now in the Constructors' lead by 15 points, I think. Good Guy gets 68 points in the Drivers as well now. Midnight gets 96. And Puss and Boy and Jardy didn't turn up, so Midnight increases his lead in the Drivers' Championships. And there you go. So that was a mad Monaco. 12 drivers, 3 safety cars, and a bit of kerfuffle at the end. Thank you so much for tuning in. American series at 2 AM UK time in 4 hours time. And also, or 5 hours time. Yeah, 4.5 hours time. And next week is Canada. We should see a better turnout of drivers and should also see some good action in Canada. Thank you for tuning in. Have a fantastic night. And we'll see you very soon. Take care.